60 years ago this week, a 6'2", 196-pound rookie traveled on the Yankees team bus headed to Boston. This day was not only special because it would be his first in the big leagues, or because of the long-standing rivalry against Boston. This was a milestone for this heralded organization. Elston Howard became the first black player for the New York Yankees.
Now the 2-1 pitch is a drive deep to left field. That ball has gone way back. Tremendous home run. Man, Ellie really tagged that one.
Howard, a quiet and reserved native of St. Louis, Missouri, played for the Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro American League before he was taken by the Yankees. This was during the time of segregation. The major leagues were reserved for white players only, so Negro leagues were created for blacks. When he was 19, Howard, a four-lettered high school athlete, rejected 25 scholarship offers before joining the Monarchs. There, he was even roommates with future MLB Hall of Famer Ernie Banks. Howard, or Ellie as he was known, made his major league debut on April 14, 1955 in Boston, making New York the 13th of the 16 major league franchises then to have an African-American player, just 2 days shy of exactly 8 years after Jackie Robinson became the first black man in the big leagues. Howard's natural playing position was in the outfield, but because he wasn't as agile, the Yankees wanted to convert him to catcher. But there was only one problem. Yogi Berra was behind the plate at the time. The Yankees' number 8 would win his third MVP award that same year, and it was hard to find a spot in the lineup on a team with virtually no weaknesses. Howard, a versatile player, would split time between backup catcher and occasional outfielder behind Mantle and Hank Bauer.
Elston Howard makes a spectacular diving catch. 1956 presents an encore performance by the same antagonists who fought it out in a thrilling 7-game series in 1955, the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees.
In 1956, the Yankees won another championship, the first of 4 for number 32. The following year, he would make the All-Star team. And when 1960 rolled around, Howard was a more permanent fixture behind the plate, starting 91 games as catcher. His best season was in 1961, averaging an astounding .348 at the plate, smashing 21 home runs and 77 RBI, both career highs. However, his efforts weren't as heralded because of 2 of his teammates, Maris and Mantle, who historically raced to shatter Babe Ruth's long-standing single-season home run record. Life in the big leagues wasn't always easy. Societal racism was prevalent, and there were many who didn't want a black player on the Yankees.
Jay's next pitch is slammed by Elston Howard against the scoreboard for a double. It was the 5th hit of the series for the star catcher, who paced the Yankees during the season with a .348 average.
However, his play continued to excel, and 2 years later in 1963, he wouldn't be overshadowed by anyone when he became the first African American to win the AL Most Valuable Player Award. Howard was an All-Star with the Yankees 2 more times before, to his surprise, he was traded to the rival Red Sox in 1967, the same team he faced in his major league debut before he retired in 1968. He headed back home to New York the following year as the first base coach, again setting another milestone, becoming the first black coach in American League history. He would coach with the Yankees from 1969 through 1979. Ellie would continue to impact the game long after he hung up his playing cleats, helping other black players like Reggie Jackson, Mickey Rivers, and Willie Randolph as the Yankees regained their prominence with World Series titles. And the impression he left on the game extended beyond the Bronx. Howard is credited for inventing the donut, the circular weight that batters use for practice swings in the on-deck circle. He's also credited as the first to use his index and pinky fingers to signify 2 outs in the inning. The Yankees signing Howard wasn't a publicity stunt, evidenced by his many accomplishments over the years. In addition to his MVP award and All-Star appearances, he won 4 World Series titles as a player, 2 titles as a coach, the 1958 Babe Ruth Award, and 2 Gold Glove awards. And in 1984, the Bombers would retire his number 32, 4 years after a heart ailment caused an early death. Despite his incredible success, he's not in baseball's Hall of Fame and is unknown to many baseball fans. His career, much like his personality, has flown under the radar, a casualty of being on the same team with some of the most iconic figures in the history of baseball. But when you research Elston Howard, words like World Series or MVP aren't what you see most frequently. It's words like character and integrity. On his plaque in Yankee Stadium's Monument Park, there's a line that reads, "A man of great gentleness and dignity," and that's arguably his biggest accomplishment, and one you won't ever find in any of his stat lines.